there, I'm meteorologist and science teacher Ryan Miller. I've got your Science for Everyone segment today. There have been two very bright objects in the western sky in the evening hours recently. Perhaps you've noticed. If not, maybe head out this evening and take a look. Those two bright objects, the brighter of the two is Venus, and the other bright object is Jupiter. And as we approach this week, we're going to watch those two planets get closer in the sky from our perspective. And as they get closer, we have what's known as a planetary conjunction. That will be happening over the next several days. This is looking west as the sun is setting. Now, there's a couple of reasons why the objects, Venus and Jupiter, are actually bright. It has to deal with the distance they are from us and the distance from the sun, and also the size of the objects. If the sun were 36 inches across, I drew this here on the sidewalk, 36 inches. If the sun were that big, the Earth and Venus would actually and only be about a third of an inch in diameter, very tiny dots relative to the sun. If Jupiter were compared to the sun being 36 inches, it would be about 4 inches across, and that's one of the reasons why Jupiter appears so bright in our sky, is because of its vast size. Now, the distance component here is another matter altogether. If the sun were 12 inches across, and this is our front yard here at NBC4, if the sun were 12 inches across, 1 foot, the Earth and Venus, because they're very close to one another here relative to the solar system, the Earth and Venus would roughly be 70 feet and then 100 feet from the sun. But if the sun were 12 inches in diameter, the distance between it and Jupiter would actually be over 550 feet. So from our front doorway here at NBC4 almost to Nebraska Avenue, it takes light from Jupiter 50 minutes to go from the planet as it's reflected to travel this distance to get to your eyeballs here on the Earth. So it's the size of Jupiter that makes it bright, and it is the distance to Venus that makes it bright. But here's why these two objects, even though they're so far away from one another, will appear close to us. Here's the Earth, Venus's orbit here, and in this position this week, from the Earth's perspective, you're going to look out, you're going to see Venus, and then in the distance you'll see Jupiter. It's not that they're actually close to one another, it's because they appear close to one another because of our position relative to these two planets. So as you stand on the Earth, you're going to see Venus, but you're also seeing Jupiter in the background. That's what causes the conjunction, and that's why these two planets will appear to be right next to each other here over the next bit of time, but they're really not. They're thousands and millions of miles away. So go out, check that western sky. The brightest object is going to be Venus. The second brightest object is going to be Jupiter, and they are going to be appearing like they're very close to one another, even though they're not. I'm meteorologist and science teacher Ryan Miller. This is your Science for Everyone segment.